2022 NBA playoffs have been absolutely wild and filled with nothing but surprises, with the Brooklyn Nets getting swept in the first round, Phoenix getting blown off their home court in Game 7 versus the Mavericks. We've had so many players really break out this playoffs and really show us that they're playoff worthy, and they're here to stay as great NBA players. So I brought you 6 NBA players that have really broken out during these playoffs. So let's get into it. First, we have Jaylen Brunson from the Dallas Mavericks. Now, Luka missed majority of the Utah series. Well, Jaylen Brunson became the main ball handler for that team. So the regular season, Brunson was pretty good. He averaged 16.3 points, 4.8 assists, and 3.9 rebounds. In the playoffs, he jumped up to 23 points per game, 3.5 assists, and 4.6 rebounds. Now, Brunson single-handedly won them 2 games without Luka Doncic, which is huge because that was a big concern for them when Luka went out. This is perfect timing for Brunson because he is due for a big contract season. He's currently going to be an unrestricted free agent at the end of this season. And the Mavericks originally turned down a deal of 4 years, $80 million for Brunson. That's what Brunson wanted. The Mavericks said no. Now I think the Mavericks are going to be regretting that decision, because there might be a team out there that's going to pay Jaylen Brunson $100 million. Another player we have is Tyrese Maxey. Now, his statistical improvements don't jump off the board. On the regular season, he averaged 17.5 points, 4.3 assists, and 3.2 rebounds. In the playoffs, he jumped up to 21 points, 3.9 assists, and 3.5 rebounds. He really emerged as a second offensive threat for the Philadelphia 76ers. He really had a great series in Toronto to start off with. And with James Harden struggling on offense, Tyrese Maxey really brought it to them and gave him a big burst of offense. And Maxey's only in his second season, which is hard to believe. He's such a mature player at this point in his career. And he's overall going to be the second best offensive player for this team moving forward. Now that James Harden is kind of lost his offensive step, he's more facilitator now for them. So very exciting things for Tyrese Maxey. And it was awesome to see him prove that he can be a great offensive player in the playoffs. He can really step up to the moment and, put up more points per game. And with everything else going on with Embiid's injuries and James Harden drama, and he really just went out there and balled, which is very, very awesome to see. Next, we have Grant Williams from my Boston Celtics. Now, in the regular season, he averaged 7.8 points, 1 assist, and 3.6 rebounds. In the playoffs, he jumped up to 11 points, 1 assist, and 4.4 rebounds. Now, again, the statistics don't jump off the board, but his absolute effectiveness on the court has been incredible. First round versus Brooklyn, played incredible defense on Kyrie and Kevin Durant. And then in the second round versus Giannis, he did his thing versus Giannis and contained him pretty well, because Giannis had a pretty poor shooting series. Giannis was still an animal, but his shooting percentages weren't as high as they were. Not to mention in Game 7, the dude looked like Steph Curry out there hitting 7 threes to close out the series. Very awesome to see from Grant Williams, and when he becomes a free agent, he's going to get paid a lot more than he is now, because he's only making like $1.5 million. Awesome to see. He's definitely going to have a nice contract when the time comes. Next, we have Jordan Poole. No surprise here. He was in the MIP conversation this year. Unfortunately, didn't get it. However, in the regular season, he averaged 18.5 points, 4 assists, and 3-point rebounds. Playoffs, he jumped up a little bit to 19.3 points, 4.8 assists, and 3.4 rebounds. He looked really incredible in the first series versus the Denver Nuggets. However, the Denver Nuggets didn't really have great perimeter defense, but that's not to take away from Jordan Poole, because he actually started over Steph Curry when Steph Curry was rehabbing from his injury. And this just showed that Jordan Poole is an offensive talent across the board, can really shoot from anywhere on the court, and can really lead a team at the point guard position when he needs to. Because Steph Curry would miss some time with that ankle injury. He's definitely here to stay. Showing he can put up these numbers in the playoffs is huge, because we all know that the playoffs defensive intensity is, much higher. A lot of people's numbers go down. Well, Jordan's numbers went up, which is very awesome to see, and he's going to be a phenomenal player for the Warriors as they take on the Dallas Mavericks. Next, we have Anthony Edwards. He had an incredible series versus Memphis. Unfortunately, they fell short, but a very productive season from Edwards and a very productive year from the T-Wolves. In the regular season, he averaged 21.3 points, 3.8 assists, and 4.8 rebounds. Now, in the playoffs, he jumped up to 25.2 points, 3.0 assists, and 4.2 rebounds. Edwards showed his complete offensive skill set in this series. And I think after this point, he has emerged himself as the front runner for like the most important player from Timberwolves team, because Cat did struggle a lot, and Cat struggled in the playoff series a couple years ago versus Houston. I don't know if Cat's an all-time playoff performer, and Anthony Edwards showed that he's ready for the moment and he's ready to step up and should become the main building block for this franchise moving forward. And finally, at number 6, we have Brandon Ingram. I loved watching Brandon Ingram play. He looked like the best player on the court in the Pelicans-Suns series. Unfortunately, the Pelicans came up short. CJ didn't play that well, and they had some other guys who struggled offensively. But Brandon Ingram was their sole guy they relied on all series, and he delivered. Unfortunately, they came up short. And this was Ingram's first playoff appearance in the 6th season of his career, which is insane because he's been a great player. So in the regular season, he averaged 22.7 points, 5.6 assists, 5.8 rebounds. In the playoffs, he stepped up to 27 points, 6.2 assists, and 5.5 rebounds throughout his whole career. Pretty much ever since season 3 for him, his first year in New Orleans, he's been kind of teetering the all-star player category. Like, he made it his first year in New Orleans and missed the last 2. And it's just his numbers have been the same, but he's just kind of been on that border of borderline all-star, And once this Pelicans team gets Zion Williamson back, they're going to be a problem, especially since Brandon Ingram has really stepped up to become a facilitator for this team. Great thing to come from Brandon Ingram, and even greater things to come from this Pelicans team. So that was my 6 breakout stars in the NBA playoffs so far. Let me know in the comment section if you agree, and I'll see you in the next video.